Good morning, everyone. I am Chiranjeev Bhaumik, a Prime Minister Research Fellow in the School of Medical Science and Technology, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. And I am the TA for the course Mathematical Aspects of Biomedical Electronic System. And in week 0, we'll study about biomedical signals in general. I have my background in electronics and communication engineering, and since 2018, I am doing research in the field of medical AI, particularly in medical image processing and signal processing. So first, let us understand what is a signal. Signals are actually mathematical functions of one or more independent variables that carry some information. So signals can be of different types depending on the sources that we have. The most common is a biosignal. Now in biosignals, there can be of different types. There can be signals between the two cells, and this can be said as cell signaling. There can be signals between the two neurons. At the same time, there can be bioelectric signals, for example, ECG, electroencephalogram, etc. Also, we all know our antenna, which carries or which receives signals the from the communication for communication purpose. At the same time, there can be various other sources of signals that we have in nature. So what are bioelectric signals? Bioelectric signals, these are very low amplitude and low electrical signals that can be measured from biological beings. For example, in our case, we have human. So there are various types of biosignals. First one is the electroencephalogram, which measures the electrical activity of the brain. The electrocardiogram, which measures the electrical activity of the heart. Electromyogram, which measures the electrical activity of the muscle. Electroretinogram, which measures the electrical activity of the cells of the retina. Electrogastrogram, which measures the electrical activity of the uh, myocardial cells present in the smooth muscles of the stomach and the intestine. Galvanic skin response, which measures the continuous variation of electrical activity of the skin. So in figure 3 and figure 4, we have two signals. The first one is the ECG signal, and as evident in the figure, ECG or electrocardiogram is more sort of a regular curve with no jitters as evident in the figure. And whereas in the case of electroencephalogram or EEG, the signal is more jittery and more random. So first let us talk about electrocardiogram or ECG. Electrocardiography is a method to measure the electrical activity of the heart. The electrical activity of the heart is also known as electrocardiogram. It is a very common and painless method which is used to detect a wide range of heart problems and monitor heart health. For example, atrial fibrillation, ventricular fibrillation, myocardial infarction, etc. So electrocardiogram of the heart is basically a graph of voltage versus time, which measures actually the electrical activity of the heart using various electrodes placed on the skin. So there are various types of conventional systems. The most common one is a 12 lead ECG system. In the 12 lead ECG system, 10 electrodes are placed on the top of the skin, and as evident in figure 5, there are 10 electrodes. So electrodes are placed in right arm, right leg, left leg. At the same time, there are 6 electrodes which are named as V1, V2, V3, V4, V5 and V6, which are placed along the chest. So figure 6, we can see that we have 12 signals that is actually collected from the 10 electrodes, and that is extremely helpful in detecting a wide range of heart abnormalities. So if we see the conventional ECG curve, there are actually three main components to an ECG. The P wave, which actually represents the atrial depolarization, the QRS complex that represents the ventricular depolarization, and the T wave, which represents the ventricular repolarization. And this variation from the normal can tell us or tell the doctor about different abnormalities. So let's next let us talk about electroencephalogram. So electroencephalography is a method to record the electrical activity of the brain. It can find changes in the brain activity, and it is extremely helpful in diagnosing various brain disorders like epilepsy or other seizure disorder or autism. So there are various types of EEG electrode system that are used. The most common one is the 64 or 128 or 256 EEG electrode system. The figure 8 we can see a portable EEG machine, and in figure 9 we can see the EEG electrodes that is marked in the figure. We can see an EEG cap, and there are various holes in the EEG cap where the electrodes are placed in direct contact with the skin. At the same time, a jelly type substrate is used so that there is a good contact or good response that is collected, and hence the EEG and hence the electrodes are used, and they can be particularly then utilized to collect various signals from the different places of the skull. So this is a very conventional method, and it has been widely used in today's market. So this type of biosignals or bioelectric signal that we have discussed, particularly for the heart and the brain, these are very common, and it has been widely used in the market in today's era. So thank you.